This talk is The Strong and Caring Leader. I'm currently writing a book called Power Coaching, and I was very fortunate enough to be able to, lucky enough to work for some great leaders during my career, the latter part in the Bechtel Corporation. And I was looking for a way of describing exactly what it was these guys did that made them good leaders. And it's a combination of strong and caring. And so I'm going to talk about strong and caring, and I'm going to talk about science, and I'm going to talk about what's hard and what's easy, and see if I can just reframe some things for you in terms of what is easy and what is actually hard. Because an awful lot of things that happen in corporations, people glibly say, yeah, we need to create this high-performing team. How long do you think that'll take? 6 weeks? And I'm thinking 5 years. So the gap between people's perception of what you can get out of a group of people and what you can actually get out of a group of people is usually different. And also their perception of what you have to do to get high performance out of a group of people. And some of that is counterintuitive, yeah, especially to some people. But I'm going to talk about strong and caring. So people like lists. I like lists too. I'm a kind of a list guy. I have a list for each day, and I put all the kind of irritating phone calls very early on, so that I can have the relief of knowing that I've done it. Knowing that half of them I'm just going to get a voicemail anyway. So I like operating on lists, and I like having a daily plan, and I like being able to see if I can get to the end of the day and achieve the things I set out to, and I get reinforced if I did more. And I've done that for a long time. I did that when I was a site engineer, and it's just the way I operate, and I do recommend to other people that they do that if they don't do it at all, to do it, and if they do it now, to just do it a bit more, because it's very, very valuable knowing what you're doing. And we're tuned to complete delusion as well. So nature has us tuned to delusion. So nature has us thinking we've just added the most unbelievable amount of value in a day. And it's not the case unless you've got some facts to prove it. And that was reinforced to me by the great leaders that I work for. So strong leader. What's a strong leader do? Sets clear expectations and goals. Yeah, I like that, yeah. I can see people writing this down. Just be careful, because remember, this is me, yeah? An efficient and concise communicator. I like that too, yeah? Fails fast. What a great term. Alistair Cathcart used it when he was here 2 years ago. I like the idea of failing fast. Oh, we tried this. It's not working, guys. Let's stop, Removes barriers, yeah? So you want to work for a strong leader who makes sure that you can do the job that you've been paid to do, yeah? Delivers constructive feedback. So somebody who gives you the feedback you need in an artful way, yeah? Admits it when they're wrong and apologizes. You wouldn't believe the number of people who I've said to, okay, well, that didn't go very well. I suggest you get your people in a room and just apologize, yeah? There will be, most people are quite forgiving, and the number of people who flatly refuse to apologize after something's gone wrong, they're the leader, so it was their watch. But the number of people who won't do that is quite surprising, and it's a shame really, because it costs nothing, yeah? And it also builds trust later on. So, speaks truth to power. Somebody who's quite happy when the president visits the plant to say to the president, yeah, excuse me, but I think I need to tell you these 3 things, yeah? We don't like the Six Sigma. So what does caring look like? Somebody who gives feedback elegantly, yeah? That's wearing a suit or a ball gown. So, asks your advice, anticipates your needs, sets realistic goals, reacts well to bad news, creates opportunities for growth and learning. This is fantastic stuff, isn't it? But wait, we've gone down the motherhood and apple pie route again. This is nice sounding, and it's memorable, and it's making me feel good, but what does it mean, yeah? It's not scientific. Something something that we've struggled with is that an awful lot of psychology is interesting and memorable and not much use. And an awful lot of behavioral science is boring and monotonous and fantastic, yeah? And that's the problem between the two. We're always following somebody else who did a load of memorable psychology and then trying to get people to manage their time or measure things. And they clearly it's not as much fun as the other stuff was, yeah? So they go on smile training. Somebody was saying yesterday that they were amazed that somebody very high up in their company remembered their names and the names of their kids. And I said, well, yeah, he must have been on smile training. Did it feel patronizing? Yes. Did it feel genuine? No, you know. It's, that's what smile training does for you, yeah? And the guy would probably be going away thinking, hey, you know, I remembered all those names. It's a miracle. This is science. I've changed the names to protect the innocent, but this is real data, yeah? So you may, do you recognize these names? Yeah. Okay, so each person had an agreed number of tasks, yeah? And so this was Monday, okay, how many do you want to do? Fraser said 10, Niles 3, Daphne 3. Okay, Friday, how many did you do? Fraser, 0, yeah? Niles 1, Daphne, yeah? But as the coach, I had my prediction as well, yeah? So I thought Fraser would do 2, so I thought it wasn't going to be good, but I was still wrong, yeah? I thought Niles would do 1, and I was right. So I am forecasting things and then finding out whether the things happened, yeah? And the clean sweep at the bottom, Eddie, of course, as you realise, Eddie is a dog, yeah? But with Roz, that was good too. So this is a question of asking somebody to do something and seeing if they do it, and see if you can predict what they're going to do. So that I'm just adding the see if you can predict what they're going to do into the mix. Because stimulus control is I ask somebody to do something and they do it. I ring somebody, they ring me back. I send them an email, they send me an email back. That's called stimulus control, which is the effect of me being able to have an impact on somebody else. So when we say things, we assume that the people in the audience listened to what we said and understood it and will act on it. Yeah, and that's without data. That's a very, very broad assumption. Yeah, let me tell you. So the thing to do is to ask for easy things and start slowly. Ask for one thing and see if you get one thing. Yeah, then ask for 3 things and see if you get 3 things. It's also important not to ask for hard things. So I gave somebody a description of somebody who I met yesterday, this morning, and the description was money-grabbing, impatient numpty. Yeah, well, numpty is an English word. Yeah. And that stereotype, if you like, is quite common in businesses that are about to go bust or are going to go bust in a couple of years. Yeah, so the money grabbing and the impatient stuff goes together. It's usually men and Ken Lay, you know, people like that, people that kind of go power crazy and don't understand that sustainable businesses require something a little bit more sophisticated than come on, let's go work hard, you know, kind of thing. I just want to point something out to you. The hard things to do in business are harder than the following things: eating less, giving up smoking, and drinking, you know, a decent amount of alcohol. Those things are easy, and those things are, I guess you would perceive those things are hard, and I will tell you why they're easy. They're easy because all of those 3 things are within your control, yeah? You put the food in your mouth, you put the alcohol, yeah? You do those things. So those are easy things to temper, yeah? And hard things to do are to work with a group of people and see if you can generate some behavioral change. That's hard. That's much harder than giving up smoking and drinking and eating the right amount of food. I would also say it's good to ask for something pinpointed. So ask for something that the person absolutely understands, is within their control and can do, and then agrees to do. Yeah. So by Friday at 10 o'clock, can you do that? Yeah. Yes, I can. Okay, then let's see what happens. I know this sounds very slow, but this is important, because if you can do one, then you can get a number of repetitions. So, what are you going to choose? Yeah. Within your workplace, there are many day-to-day behaviours that repeat. Yeah. So if you go to a meeting, you can observe what people say. You can look at their faces and see if what they're saying matches with what the rest of their body is doing, and you can ask clarifying questions. Yeah. So that's being scientific about observing a group of people and making some notes. So try and turn down the assumptions that you make, and also this is the hardest one. You already have an opinion about all the people at work. Yeah, so all of the people that you work with now, you have an opinion. Everybody around you has an opinion about the same person, and the only person that doesn't know what that opinion is the person themselves. So opening those things up can be painful, especially for the money-grabbing, impatient numpty that you're delivering the feedback to. But it's absolutely worth, in meetings, just having a look around and saying to yourself, so is there something happening here that I need to make a note of? Is there something happening here that I could ask a clarifying question on? Yeah. We've been soliciting opinion from groups of people now for 10 years. Hollin Consulting's 10 years old, was 10 years old on April the 1st. Can't believe it. It's gone like a flash. And we run these RF questions in all the courses, and so we have an awful lot of opinion data. And here's a few. So 82% of people polled don't measure how they spend their time each week. So just a show of hands, who in the audience measures what they do every day? Okay, that probably fits 82% perfectly. Yeah, I just did a quick calculation, I'm very clever. So 76% of people polled receive too many emails to be able to cope each week. So this is a story that people go, oh, look how many emails I get. I'm a victim, And then the next question is usually, I never lift a finger to do anything about the massive emails I receive. And everybody goes, okay, yeah, that's true. I don't do anything about it. But I am a victim, don't forget, And 25% of people polled turn up fully prepared for meetings. And in some organizations, that's zero, yeah? And some organisations, I've had to go back up to the leaders and say, okay, there seems to be something wrong here. Your people seem to think that the meetings are work, and the work is the stuff that happens between the meetings. Yeah, the meetings aren't work; they're just a social club where people talk about stuff and say, yeah, I haven't managed to do it, but I'll do it next month. And knowledge workers in organisations spend a lot of time on email and meetings, and mostly they don't collect any data on those things, whilst at the same time having hundreds and hundreds of pieces of data about various bits of production here, there and everywhere, with the knowledge workers not being measured at all on meetings and email. So that sounds silly, doesn't it? But familiar, I guess. So if the percentage effectiveness of a group of knowledge workers is down to, say, 50% each, and that's quite good actually, that means the effectiveness of the whole group could actually accumulate up to a massive 20% effectiveness, or 20% efficiency if you want to look at it like that. So that's an awful lot of very expensive people not being very efficient, yeah? It truly is. And if you go back to your workplaces and start measuring that stuff, I assure you it won't be anywhere near 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100%. It won't be anywhere near that. And these are the people that add value into the business, because these are the people that create the environment for the real workers down there, somewhere who are making plastics or digging roads or whatever it is they do in your organization. So this is where the money is. The money is getting the knowledge workers to measure stuff and get themselves organized. So it's a massive opportunity to create discretionary effort out of the people that use their brains for a living, and they can choose to deliver just enough, or they can deliver twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times more than other people. And but that's ludicrous. No, it's not ludicrous. There are many organizations out there that are very profitable. Yeah, there are organizations out there that make 25, 30% profit, and there are organizations that make 3% profit. And the organizations that make 3% profit firmly believe that that's the maximum they can possibly make. And it's probably not true. So, okay, you've got me. What next? Yeah, I think people need to introduce deliberate leadership. So not the spray and pray hoping that tomorrow everybody will suddenly come to work and go, you know, I think I'm going to deliver loads of discretionary effort today. Deliberate leadership, yeah, because there's always a potential for discretionary effort. And I reckon the multiplier is 5. In an awful lot of organizations we've looked at, and some of those organizations, especially ones that have good accounting systems, have started to increase their profits. So one is nearly doubled its profits, and another organization has reduced its insurance premiums by a third. So they're only paying 2/3 now what they paid 3 years ago in insurance premiums because they've reduced the number of claims. So behavioral change 3 years ago has now resulted in whatever it was, £600,000 was it, a year in reduced insurance premiums. That's a lot of money, yeah, it really is. So, back to strong and caring. So, strong is the strong leader is the one with integrity. The strong leader is the one that really does want you to do the right thing, really does want you to say the right thing, that really does respond in the right way when you do say something slightly scary, yeah. You know, and there are techniques that the strong leaders use in order to tease stuff out of people. I used to work for a great leader who was he was based in Houston, and he used to say to me, "I'm going to give you some feedback now. Howard, are you ready?" And I go, "Yeah." "I'm going to give you some feedback. Yeah. Are you ready?" And I go, "Yeah." And he'd say, "I'm not sure you're ready yet. Are you sure?" You know, by the time he delivered the feedback, it was a blessed relief, you know. But from a technique perspective, it could have been scary, and it was just a nice technique of a strong leader that had figured out how to deliver feedback to people. And it usually was, you know, something constructive and something that I needed to do, because I made a lot of mistakes. I still do, you know. It's an important thing to realize that you make a lot of mistakes, but I think as long as you learn from them, it's good. And you want to rely on working for a leader you can trust, who will tell you the stuff you need to know. Because working for somebody you don't trust, who won't tell you what you need to know, feels horrible. Yeah, it feels, you know, uncertain. And the science of caring is a different one. I looked for a number of words instead of caring because I thought it sounded a bit wussy, you know. But it is caring. It most definitely is caring. So of the 5 or 6 great leaders that I work for, one of which is sat there, I always felt as if I could say what I wanted to say. I always felt as if I was going to be brought back, you know, brought into order if I said something or did something wrong. But I always felt very, very confident that these guys had my best interests at heart and the interests of the organization as well. And so if you work for somebody who's clearly selfish and just doing stuff, you know, for themselves, or, you know, last year I talked about strong leaders and indifferent, you know, weak leaders. And I think out of the, what was it? Strong leaders, weak leaders, and egotistical lunatics. That was the third one, yeah. And out of the 3, yeah, the worst one to work for is the weak leader, yeah, the indecisive leader. That's the most frustrating, actually. You're better off working for an egotistical lunatic, because at least you know where you stand, you know. You might think you're going that direction today and that direction tomorrow, but you know, at least you're going in a direction, yeah. Most people don't get to work for strong leaders, and most people don't get to work for leaders who get that balance right. But you could be that leader, yeah? You could be that leader. You may be that leader now. And if you can get the balance of strong and caring, then there's a very good chance that people that work for you will deliver all of that discretionary effort that I talked about before. I think that's a very sound thing to do. And I hope you enjoyed this talk. And I hope you read one of the books. And if you do, I really appreciate the feedback, because I always take it into account. Thank you very much.